Yeah, hold on. Let me check the stream itself. Yeah, hold on. Let me say something. The stream itself.
Hello, hello. It is me, Reggie.
Say something. The stream itself.
Hello, hello. It is me.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, cool. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Give me one sec. Hold, please.
What's up, Reg?
Reggie! What's happening? What's crapping?
What's brackin', young cuz?
Yep. Know what I'm saying? Change this. Street light people.
Oh, actually, I already know what my next blog is going to be. I have to watch the entire new Resident Evil show on Netflix, and that's what my next one is going to be.
Nice.
It came out today, and I've seen only 2 reviews so far, one of which is from the Alphabet company, and they gave it an 8 out of 10. And then someone I follow on TikTok was like, this is hot garbage, and I'm going to shit all over it over the next 5 videos. So,
yeah. I watched the first episode of the Halo series last night, and we'll talk about it. But all right, I'm just gonna get it rolling. You ready, Miller? You ready, good boy? Yes. This episode of Not Another Gaming Podcast, as always, is brought to you by us. Patreon.com/WickedGoodGaming for as little as $1. You can support your boys on the internet. You can support the #1 gaming podcast on these internet streets. You know you love it. You know you want to support it. You know you want to check it out. So go to patreon.com/WickedGoodGaming. Tons of great perks on there. There's exclusive merch, exclusive Discord roles, and access to voice channels, text channels, and not limited to, but including Not Another Gaming Podcast Last Call. So you can hang out with us after the show and talk about some bonus topics and also have some influence over what we say. So check it out. Patreon.com/WickedGoodGaming. Support us for as little as $1. That's Patreon.com/WickedGoodGaming. Now sit back, relax, because it's episode 293 of Not Another Gaming Podcast. Yo, welcome back to Not Another Gaming Podcast. Your boy Papa Dom. We're here live, direct, beautiful, illustrious, sweaty, skinny, fucking killing it. Episode 293 of the greatest gaming podcast to ever grace these internet streets. It's your boy Papa Dom. Chris P is currently live from the CDL Major 4 with Boston Breach, so he will not be able to join us. He also told me that he is staying in the sketchiest hotel in the state of New York, so just goes to show you that New York is just a fucking dirty pit of a town, and just another vote in Boston's direction, because we could never. So, but joining me is my beautiful co-host, looking absolutely svelte, Dr. Bob. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just had my surprise vacation popped up out of nowhere this week. Well, it's next week, but I forgot that it was happening next week. So, nice little surprise. I'm not going to talk about work because I'm not going to jinx myself. So we're going to skip right past that.
Yep.
But otherwise, man, I'm a gaming machine right now. I got to tell you, I am a video game machine. Probably why I've lost so much weight, because I haven't seen sunlight and I'm depreciating my, cells of nutrients just by playing video games nonstop. But yeah, I'm basically like king video game person right now. I'm up there.
All right. Love to hear that. Well, let's hear a little bit more about that. Let's just dive right into a little weekend recap. And tell me about how your weekend went and what you've been playing, because it sounds like you've been playing a lot.
I had a nice 4-day weekend this weekend. Shout out to Steve, who is now my new accountability partner for when it comes to taking time off, because I never take time off.
Accountability buddy.
Yes, my accountability buddy. So this was like 3 months ago, where Steve and I were just talking like, I need a break. I need a break from work. And Steve is like, how about you just take a long weekend? And I was like, fuck, it's the summer. People have vacations right now. Like, I got to check the schedule to make sure, like, whatever weekend I take off, the least amount of people are taking it off.
Yep.
3 months later, find out it's the weekend after July 4th. Completely forgot I took that off too. Had a 3-day week last week. Had a fucking 4-day weekend this weekend. My accountability buddy. Shout out Steve.
Love that. Shout out to Steve. Accountability buddy.
Didn't do all too much. Hung out with the family. Spent time with a lady. And I have been playing so many video games. Too many, one might say. Actually, I was going to tweet this out earlier today. I was talking to my therapist today, and she was like, do you think you might have a video game addiction? And I was like, let's move on to another topic.
Do you think you might have a question asking addiction?
Yeah, what is this, therapy?
Yeah. What are you, my mom?
And she was like, yeah, you should really go out a little bit more. And in TLDR, she told me to touch grass. So.
Hi, Gab. Hi, Reggie. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, they don't fucking know everything. Hey, you know what?
You know what I know that you know what I know that she doesn't? Physics.
Hey, you know what they call a therapist who graduated bottom of their class? A therapist. So think about it.
True. I don't know where she graduated.
I'm just saying. No, but in all seriousness, mental health is a very serious thing. Everybody should have a therapist. We're just joking. We just like to play video games. We're just joking. Please go see a therapist. Please go see a therapist.
Dude, I have to scroll through my Steam to see what I've been playing recently. Hold on. I have 16 hours in Code Vein, which is essentially anime Dark Souls in the past 3 days. 16 hours. Thank you, Craigums, for the 4 months. And like I said, anime Dark Souls, I only like one of those two things, and that's Dark Souls.
Yep. Love that.
My buddies from college and I are playing Wildermyth, which is essentially procedurally generated Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
But with like paper mache characters, and it's fucking awesome.
Oh, fuck yeah.
20 minutes till dawn, some Counter-Strike here and there, Vampire Survivors, and then, hold on, you haven't seen this yet, Dom.
Oh, show me. Oh, ooh, that's more compact than I thought it was going to be.
Dude, it is.
When you sent me the picture.
It is tiny. Tiny. I have been playing Parasite Eve. I have been playing, what else? The Berserk game on Dreamcast. I just started Chrono Trigger for the first time last night.
Ooh.
Dude, this thing is a piece of technology that I never thought I knew I needed, but I have it now, and I fucking love it. Oh, I
love to hear that. Just gaming. Fucking gaming. You don't have a fucking video game addiction, dude.
No, dude.
That.
Grass is overrated anyway.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Cows eat that shit. And I eat cows. Yeah. Therefore,
exactly.
I eat grass.
You know what my neighbor says, who's like definitely a drunk, but like also one of my favorite people? And also, I mean, that's like water calling itself wet. He was like, yeah, I don't like to drink water because fish pee in it. And I'm like, you know what? That's a very boomer joke, and I appreciate that. Let's get another beer.
Dude, fish have sex in the water.
Fish fuck in the water. You want to just, yeah.
You kidding me?
What? Come on. Also, congrats on the sex, fish.
Yeah, must be nice.
As for me, I was in the Cape last weekend, a little vacation. You can't tell because like the light is so high in here, but I do have a very good tan. It is fading by the minute, but luckily I'll be on another vacation in a couple weeks, so I'm going to bring that right back. Because, you know, mental health, you know, I won't be touching grass. I will be touching sand. There's a very big difference. And I will be touching pool because I will be in a swim-up bar for like a week straight. That's basically it. But yeah, I've basically been doing the equivalent of that right behind me, like Miller, like fucking just horizontal for the last week. Touching sand. Big fan of that. I also recently discovered these seltzers. These Happy Dad seltzers. Right here. Pretty good. Free ad. They're fucking delicious. And they have electrolytes, which is what plants crave. So
yeah,
how can you not, you know what I mean? And I feel pretty healthy after I drink a couple of these. I definitely feel something. Yeah, 5%, not bad. A couple of these. I've been sweating my ass off, so I figure electrolytes.
True.
Rehydrate, So this might be my new.
How has no booze company done that yet? Like
electrolytes.
Yeah, if you're making a seltzer, why not put electrolytes in it?
There's probably like one electrolyte in this whatever.
So
I don't know how
1
you even
milligram,
track that. Yeah.
1 milligram of one electrolyte.
Yeah. I don't know how electrolytes are measured. If it's like midichlorians, you know what I mean, in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I don't like because there's nothing on the ingredient list that says like electrolytes 5 milligrams. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but pretty good, pretty fucking good. So I've been doing that. I made some time to game. I finished Mafia 1, the definitive edition. Very, very good. I started up Mafia 2. As I mentioned previously, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's still on sale. The whole trilogy is on sale for $25, and I didn't remember the first one at all, which they completely rebuilt from the ground up, which is awesome. The second one is just kind of an upscale. Same exact game. The mechanics did not age well at all, but still a really, really good story and awesome voice acting. So I'm just trying to like not close my eyes, but kind of squint a little bit so the graphics don't look as bad and the mechanics aren't as like the shooting. That series is like GTA, but
with bad
or more
combat.
like with bad combat, but it's a much better driving controls. Like it's super driving focused, which I completely forgot about it. Like Mafia 1 is like literally 60% driving. There's some really cool car chases and shit like that. But really good game. Started up Mafia 2 and looking forward to that. I've never played the third, so I'm like kind of working my way into it. And my understanding is that the narrative like is very consistent throughout the whole thing, and they're all related, which is really cool. And there's like 3 distinct generations of organized crime. The first one being like Prohibition era Chicago. The second one is like prime, like golden age of organized crime, New York. And the third one is in Louisiana, like during the Vietnam War, which is really cool. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. JB was good. Also been playing some Destiny 2. The season's winding down. Still having a good time with that. My grind kind of took a week off because I was away. And I recently, as early as this afternoon, re-downloaded Hearthstone because the new pack or the new set that's coming out in a couple weeks is themed after one of my favorite raids from the game, which Steve, my legal counsel, and
also my legal counsel.
Yeah, our legal counsel and Bob's accountability buddy, him and I raided the shit out of that game, out of Castle Nathria when that came out. So Ken didn't do that though because he just never raided with us. But between Steve, we were killing it. So re-downloaded that. I ran into a meta deck that was like a one-turn kill deck, literally my first game of ranked, and almost wanted to uninstall it right away because I was like, I have no fucking cards right now, so I don't know. But JB, Chris is at the CDL Major 4 right now, so he's in New York in a very sketchy
But he's staying
hotel.
in a ditch. His
is
hotel
a ditch. So to answer your question, like yes and no, based on what he told me, the concierge desk was surrounded in bulletproof glass. And the floors at the hotel look like they haven't been cleaned in months. And also, he had to change his room at 11 p.m. last night because I think it was like some sketchy noise was happening outside, and he wanted to like be further away from like the walls. Which, I've seen Hardball, so.
Jeez.
Yeah, thank you for relaying that. I hope he's safe. I don't know if you're in New York with him, but I just keep us posted on his livelihood. Please, because
let us know if this goes 50-50 this weekend.
Yeah. So
also, I did play one more game that I'm losing steam on, and I don't know how I feel about it anymore. And it is Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Ooh.
I don't like it as much as everybody else does.
Yeah, I was just talking to my brother about that because him and I were playing the shit out of that game, or we literally had talked about it for months before it came out. And we're like, dude, we're going to take the whole weekend off, grind the fuck out of it. It straight up did not work when it came out. Every time I played single player, it was totally fine. I played online and I was clipping through floors, dying fucking randomly. I would just die randomly. And I'm like, all right, well, uninstalling this game. I'm done. So I may just try to play it single player just to get the story because I thought it was really nice and really like heartfelt, and had some really, really great D&D references, which by all accounts should just make automatic 3,000 hours. But you're right. I have not heard a single person talk about that game post-launch.
Which is sad. A lot of people claim it's like the best release since Borderlands like 1, but I don't see it. I miss the semi-open nature world of it, where you like go through a massive map and then there's an exit on the other side that just leads to another massive map. And I think I think the like the pace and the flow of the game gets halted too frequently when you're just back on the fucking floor map. Like, you just go into one encounter, you kill a bunch of guys, you get a little bit of loot, and then you're back on a fucking D&D mat. And I feel like that just kills the pace of the game.
Yeah. The pacing in it is very strange. The like overworld map is just like kind of meh, and it feels weird going from like set piece to set piece.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I liked it. The technical issues killed it for me, and I legitimately never we were playing one random Saturday night like the week after launch, and I clipped through the floor like 6 times and died, and I was like, dude, I'm out. Like I'm fucking done. And
multiplayer's worked. It's worked well for me, but I'm just saying like I feel like it's so boring. Like there's nothing that really distinguishes the classes from one another. There's nothing like the
random encounters. The random encounters like the same thing over and over as well, which really sucks. Like that actually might be the most irritating part of that game. Obviously they're optional, but you kind of want to do them to grind the loot and stuff like that. And I don't know. I just feel like if you're going to make a game that has like a loot grind aspect, it needs to have more of a sense of progression. And I just feel like the item levels don't really matter in that game.
No way. I mean, when you're playing 4-player co-op, everything's a bullet sponge anyway. Right. Because it's scaled up 4x.
Right, yeah. And that was another, I'm like, oh my God, dude, how many times? And Destiny's like that sometimes, where it's like, all right, there's an orange or a yellow bar enemy that is a really bad bullet sponge. And I'm like, that's what's killing me about the seasonal stuff right now, is that one of the activities is like, go kill a bunch of bullet sponges and then get the thing. And I can't. My eyes are like bleeding trying to continue to do that. Luckily, you only need to do it like once a week, but it still feels like too much. Hey Q, how you doing? Thanks for checking in. But on to the positive things, and this is also kind of a nice little segue from the weekend to a current topic. I was at the Boston Breach facility, Helix Esports in Foxborough, this past weekend for Championship Sunday for the Challengers event ahead of Major 4, which is now this weekend. So was at the Boston Breach HQ to watch the finals for the Challengers event, which is the CDL's like amateur division. Had a shitload of fun. Absolute blast. The atmosphere was insane. There wasn't as many people there as there were on like Friday and Saturday, because obviously there were less teams and less people to come out and support them. But even still, the atmosphere at a LAN in the middle of the summer for an amateur division Call of Duty bracket was fucking awesome. I mean, it was a ton of fun. I can count on one hand how many of those I've been to. And like, I really, really had a great time. And I spoke with Murph, who is the co-founder and president of Boston Breach and Oxygen Esports that like owns Boston Breach. And he was talking a lot about LANs and about like the home field advantage. He was talking about like, if we're like, we want people to come out and like see the games live. Like we want to make it like a destination so that it makes more sense for more esports to kind of do that franchise model where like a team does have a home field and that they actually are building connections with the community that they're in. I have an interview up. It's on youtube.com/wickedgoodgaming with myself and Murph. We sit down for like 15 minutes and he was talking about how, when Breach beat Toronto Ultra, they did like a victory lap around the whole venue and were like high-fiving people. They like bought food for the whole venue for all the fans that were just like hanging out watching the game. And like that's like just something you don't see in any other sport.
No.
And I feel like esports is in such a unique position to do awesome stuff like that. So, and we have so many, like CDL Champs is in a couple weeks. Valorant Masters is happening right now.
I am Cologne is tomorrow.
I was going to say
the finals are tomorrow, or not the finals. The playoffs are tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hi Miller.
We just shake sometimes. So yeah, I mean, I just thought it was an interesting thing to talk about kind of like the state of lands, because so many people are like, the narrative obviously is we haven't been able to do this in so long. It's nice to get people back out there. Do you feel like these lands are automatically just going to have people like asses in seats because it's been a little while, or do you think that like that additional fostering of community is needed?
I think it depends. I think it depends on the event. So, for example, Counter-Strike, I think, was the first to come back to LAN. They fucked around with a lot of pseudo-LAN environments where they had teams playing on stages but without crowds. But now they're starting to open it up much wider to, like, full audiences. In the past, 6 months now, I've seen 2 very successful Counter-Strike LANs. The major, there was I think one of the Blast LANs, and then recently there was a not so successful LAN, which was Roobet. And Roobet is a relatively new event that's taking place. But, they had the best teams, they had most of the best teams in the world competing in it. And then IEM Cologne is at the Lanxess Arena. It's formerly a major event, which was, I don't want to say downgraded to an S-tier event, but it's just not considered a major anymore. But like the IEM events, they go on 4 times throughout the year. So you get if a team wins all 3 IEM events, they get a Grand Slam. And there's only 3 teams in history that have done that. Team Liquid, Astralis, and Navi. Navi was the most recent one, and everybody thought FaZe was going to be the next. But like the Lanxess Arena is historical when it comes to Counter-Strike. So tomorrow morning when they start in the playoffs, that place I am willing to bet will be packed. Absolutely fucking packed. Every seat will have an ass in it. I think it's unfortunate that Roobet, which was a pretty competitive event, didn't have that type of a turnout. I don't remember where it was hosted. It might have been like Saudi Arabia. So that might have
That'll do it. That was that's what just happened with was it Rocket League?
Yes.
Or something like that. Like Moist Esports didn't participate because it was in Saudi Arabia.
Yep. I'm pretty sure Moist Esports just won the other biggest tournament too. So there's a lot of streamers that aren't associating with a lot of the tournaments that are going on. There's a lot of teams that aren't associating with a lot of the tournaments going on for valiant reasons. If you don't want to treat the people in your country as equal, then we don't want to participate in your tournaments. That's what it is. But yeah, otherwise I've seen for the vast majority over the past year, the LANs with crowds have been overwhelmingly positive. Roobet is honestly the only exception I've seen since.
Yeah, let me see. Took place. Where is it?
This was This was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, late June. Where did it take place? I can't see. Roobet Cup.
Yeah.
It doesn't say. Sponsor, game, location. Just says Europe.
I'll find it somewhere. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I mean, on the Saudi Arabia thing, I mean, that's currently happening with golf too, where there's lots of golfers that are taking a shit ton of money to go play in Live Golf, which is like the new tour that they're just like paying fuck tons of money. It reminds me of also, this is like the second time in 3 weeks that I've referenced this, but it reminds me of Space Jam, when they say that like Moron Mountain is the like Michael Jordan, if he loses, he's gonna play against paying customers for all time, and you'll lose every time. Like, that reminds me of Roobet is a gambling company, I believe.
Yeah, they are.
I believe it's a gambling organization. They're like they're the flagship sponsor. Reggie was asking, but I mean, it's sports washing is like, that's there was something else recently that did that, but like boxing and stuff like that has lots of people from war-torn countries or countries that are run by shitty people that they try to wash their image by having athletes that people love. Qatar is doing that with the World Cup. even though people are still like, wow, this is a really shitty situation because like fucking thousands of people have died trying to make the goddamn stadium, and they're not serving booze at the stadium, so fuck that. But even this thing with, it's like oil money, like blood money that's going into these, like the golf event, people are like, yeah, that's a fuckload of money, but they also like don't recognize gay people as being human, and they also murder journalists just because they feel like it.
To be fair, fucking half of our country doesn't anymore either. So
yeah, it's true. Fuck all them. But yeah, so I can definitely see that, and then to see Moist Esports taking a stand and being like, yeah, we are not gonna, like, yeah, it's a shitload of money. Would love to have that, but like we can't in good faith do that when we know where that money's coming from and like what that country's values are. So, but in terms of like on the bright side,
it wouldn't be a problem if we had franchise Counter-Strike in America.
Wouldn't be an issue. No, not at all. Oh, you bring me a toy? You're a good boy. But yeah, I mean, I feel like LANs are definitely making a huge comeback. Obviously, I mean, between Counter-Strike and League, I feel like League like never went away. They just like late 2020, they were putting in-person. Like I think I watched the 2020 Worlds, and it was like just packed stadium. People like 5 masks on, packed in shoulder to shoulder watching League, which I thought was a heroic effort. A little misguided maybe, but still, heart's in the right place. Having full-on concerts and shit. But I think I would love to see more LANs like that. I mean, it was a bitch to drive to Foxborough from our headquarters in Salt Lake City, Utah. But I would absolutely go out of my way and drive, a half hour to an hour if there were more local LANs closer to like our major city. To see stuff like that go on, and knowing the sponsors that Oxygen Esports and Boston Breach currently have, it is not out of the realm of possibility for more teams to do that. And I would be shocked if, by the end of this season, if there weren't more of these like sponsored watch parties or, LAN events. Even with the Celtics when they were playing, they had like in-person watch parties in Faneuil Hall in Boston, which of course is so far away from us because we're in the greater Kansas City area. But it's awesome to see them get the local community together. And if they did that for esports, I fucking guarantee that there would be people there.
I mean, they did it for Overwatch for a while.
Remember that? Yeah. Remember Overwatch?
Can't wait for Overwatch 2. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a cool game.
It's gonna be good. Overwatch. This stream brought to you by Overwatch 2. It's
a game.
It's a game. But yeah, no, I mean, I would love to see more of those like local events, even small ones.
I think the most notable Counter-Strike local event for us is Fragadelphia.
That's a cool name.
I know, right?
That should be like I feel like that's like a rap album name, like a Philadelphia rapper.
We should. I mean, I'd say we should go, but it's tough because the competition just isn't. It's NA Counter-Strike, like Tier 3 CS,
Fragachusetts. I don't know. It doesn't work as much.
Fragsconsin. Fraganoy. Fragafornia.
Jesus Christ! You're just workshopping our esports team name. But DreamHack's coming back to Atlanta though in a couple months, I think. So Atlanta is a good fucking city. It's a lot of fun. Me and Warren were there, and we remember about 40% of our trip. And we were served $1 mystery shots, and definitely overserved at a bar that you could smoke indoors at in like 2019. So nice. Pretty good. Hey Jess, how are you?
Nice.
Congrats on whatever like exorbitant purchase you made today.
True.
Congrats.
I saw that. Congrats.
Congrats on the wealth, and on treating yourself. I always say that, but then again, I never really deny myself anything. So,
true. Oh, you mean the person going on their next vacation next week?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Swim up bar. It's gonna be hard, dude. I got a fucking breaststroke to the bar.
True.
Crazy. Hold on, I gotta get some more electrolytes. Give me 1 second. Because I want to talk about skateboard. Want some electrolytes, Miller?
Hey guys, everybody watching here that's going to be in last call, please come with a topic, because who the fuck knows what happened this week? I don't remember.
Nope. I'll tell you what happened today though. Skate 4.
It's also a game.
Miller was looking at the camera for that one.
Yeah, he knows.
So did you watch the what do they call it? The boardroom. Get it? Because the skateboard. Did you watch it?
No.
All right, I'll give you the rundown so you can just give me all your reactions.
I mean, I saw the tweets, so.
Yeah, so live service game, free to play, microtransactions, cross-platform, cross-progression, current-gen systems, next-gen systems, PC, eventually mobile, cross everything, and they also said like there will not be a Skate 5, like it's just going to be Skate. That's like why it's called Skate, period, because it's like this is Skate, period, like this is literally the end-all be-all, and we're just going to continue updating it until the end of time, basically. Also, Miller, JB says you're a good boy.
He is a good boy.
Pumped about that. He's pumped about that. Yeah, he's got his little bone. There's like a little treat in there, so he'll be occupied for a little while. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Because there's been some mixed reactions. I think mostly positive. They also had Avalanche on there, who is like one of the most outspoken skate community members there is. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the structure of the game? What do you think? How do you think this is going to play out?
Hi, Scrap. Miss you. The first thing that comes to mind where they're saying it's just Skate and we're never going to make another Skate game after this is like, is this just Fortnite but for skateboarding? Like, is this what it's going to be? It's just going to live on forever as this, and there's going to be seasons? Like,
would that be the worst thing?
I don't think so. But the last time we talked about it, and there were the rumors of it being a live service. That's what I say. I was saying, if it's going to be a live service, it should be free to play. Like, put in a battle pass. Who cares at this fucking point? Make it so you can unlock decks and whatnot, like new cosmetics, new fucking skaters. Who fucking cares? If it's free to play, whatever. People are going to play it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you figure like the scene is going to continue to evolve. And it only makes sense to have that battle pass or, seasonal model. They did say, like, we've looked at games like Apex as a good example, and Apex is one of the most successful live service games ever. So, I mean, it's right up there with Fortnite. So, EA is responsible for, like, the worst live service game ever, which was the first iteration of Battlefront 2.
True.
And one of the best live service games ever, which is Apex. So clearly they know what they're doing now.
Yeah, we'll find out.
But, tastes are going to change. Music is going to change. Skaters are going to change. Fashion is going to change. So I think it's cool that, there's no fucking doubt in my mind that they're going to be able to pull in some absurd sponsors.
Yeah.
Like clothing sponsors, actual skateboarding company sponsors, bands, rappers, whatever, to be in the game. So that's kind of a limitless.
I gotta find the tweet, because everything looked fine to me, but then there was one other thing for an in-app purchase that didn't sit well, and I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. They did say it's not pay to win. Like there's no like microtransactions that will affect like performance in the game. So it's probably all cosmetic.
So this is the tweet that I saw. It's called Skate Live Service, free to play, coming to PlayStation, Xbox, PC with cross-play progression. Still in early development. And then this is the point that I needed to point out. Microtransactions will focus on cosmetics and convenience. What the fuck does it mean by convenience?
Yeah, that was another thing. I read that too, and I wasn't sure what that meant. My guess is maybe convenience is like you'll unlock a certain like piece of gear early. I can only assume that you can still unlock shit by just playing the game. But you know how like in the Fortnite Battle Pass you can get like V-Bucks from it, and then you can go to the store and then buy, like, you kind of invest back into it. Maybe it's like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about this is also a massive open world, which I think is awesome. They said it's a brand new city. It's called San Vansterdam or something like that.
Sounds dumb.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of fucking syllables, but what was I going to say? There are these really cool, they call them like collab zones or something like that, that they're not marked on the map, but when you find them, like, you and a couple buddies can go there and, like, you know, put up ramps and fucking loops and shit like that and kind of build your own, like, skate park inside of the city, which I think is super cool. There's kind of like a Forge mode built into it. Hey, Skate's going to have a Forge mode before fucking Halo Infinite does, so I'm not bitter.
Halo Infinite, also a game.
Kinda.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hi there. My name is Mark with Nepanics. How are you doing today?
Hey, Mark, I'm doing okay. Sorry, where are you calling from? Hello? Mark?
Mark, what's become of you, Mark?
Are you there? Mark, come on now. Stop playing with me.
Saying the words to.
I can hear you
quit
breathing
playing
into
games
the
with my
phone.
heart.
All right. Love you. This is a new segment to every fucking show.
Love it. Dude, I got like 6 last night. And I actually answered one of them.
Grow up. 6 is fucking chump change.
No, I mean, in the span of like 2 hours, I was actually at the 99 with John, and I got like 4 while I was sitting down with him, and I go, hold on one second. And I answered, and I wait, and it always does that little boop
every time
before they pop up.
That's because they're calling in from other countries, and because they have to mask the actual number, it's transmitted over a U.S. number, typically something around our area code. And the boop is that transfer from the area code number back to them.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, whatever. They said where they were calling from. It was like some foundation or something like that. You good, though?
No, he's mad at scam callers, too.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, well, just to let you know, like, I'm on the national do not call list, so unless you want to get an invoice for $1,500, you should probably take me off your list. And even before I was done with the sentence, they hung up.
No. You don't.
I gotta get I'll get the address next time.
Don't do that. You have to get the address first, because once you get the address, that's when you grab them by the balls and you say, okay, I'm gonna be sending you an invoice for $1,500 now, because I'm on the National Do Not Call Registry, and what you're doing is considered illegal. So my lawyer will be sending you an invoice, and that's when they start saying, oh, no, wait, please don't do that. And that's when you try to heckle them, like, okay, just Venmo me $800 and I won't send you the invoice. You're going to try to scam me. I'm going to extort you. We're going both ways here.
Yeah. It's a time-honored American tradition. But yeah, so what the fuck are we talking about? Skate?
I don't fucking know.
So yeah, I mean, I think there's no two ways about it. I wouldn't mind just paying $60 for a game, but obviously going to a free-to-play model, and based on what we know about game development, I feel like releasing a free live service game is probably significantly more profitable than like the $60 that you get from like a regular game sale. Probably doesn't fucking do anything these days, because it's been $60 for a game for the last like 10 years.
I've done a full article on pricing when it comes to the video game industry, and I think I've sent it to a half dozen people on Twitter who have complained about like the next generation going up $10, and I'm like, dude, how the fuck are you gonna complain when we haven't had a price adjustment in the video game industry in 15 fucking years? Like, video games have cost $60 for 15 years. The last time the price was different was the N64 cartridge era, because you had to have actual plastic pieces to put a cartridge into a device. I think also another big point to going free to play is the fact that like there's no buyer's remorse anymore. Like, I have buyer's remorse right now when it comes to Tiny Tina's. I'm not like, I don't enjoy that game. I think I bought it for 50 something bucks. I don't enjoy that game as a 50 something dollar game. Like, I could have bought Borderlands 3 for 20 bucks and it would have been fine, and I would have had way more fun playing that. So like, there's no buyer's remorse, and there's not that lingering stigma around reviews afterwards where it's like, this is not a $60 game. Like, if I bought Tiny Tina's full price and I did a review on it, I would say this is not a $60 game. This is a game that you could get $30 worth of value out of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I would pay $30 and be happy with that, but not pay $60 and be happy with my experience. Going into that as a free-to-play model, you can't, like, I'm sure reviewers will complain about something. They'll complain about as much as they can, but, like, that's one thing they can't. But what that transition to is them complaining about the microtransactions.
Wait, you mean reviewers complain?
That, I know, it's unheard of. It's tough. It's tough to actually come to terms with, but yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think the talk of value is tough because, I mean, there's games that I feel justified paying money for that I haven't, you know, like Fortnite, for example. I'm like, all right, I'll throw fucking $20 worth of V-Bucks in there because I feel like I've had $20 worth of fun, you know, and it's tough to quantify that now because there's so much. There's like the value is different everywhere for these games, and that's another thing that happened this weekend. Speaking of value in games, is the Midnight Society Founders Passes rolled out. So we have those now. We still have no fucking idea what is going to happen with those, but I'm excited. I don't know what I'm excited for, but they have an event in LA in like 2 weeks. If I was closer to it, I would go, but that is an exorbitant trip. So that is not going to happen on last minute. Also, a flight from like Aruba to LA just can't do that. Can't swing that.
True.
You know, then I'd have to come back, and you know, it's just fucking brutal. I'd be missing out on a whole day of daiquiris. You know. So, you know, that's the thing. But yeah, you want to listen to some voicemails?
Sure.
Voicemail time. 617-701-7678. Leave us a call, and we'll listen to it live on the show. I'm going to play the voicemail now, and hopefully you hear it.
Sam and WGG Founding Fathers, this is your boy JV Genesis calling with another weekly voicemail. Hope everyone's doing well. So I recently finished the Leviathan expedition in No Man's Sky. Other than that, I haven't really been playing too much besides Pokemon Sword. I've been trying to finish my Pokédex. I'm almost there. On the topic of Pokemon, if you were to be a gym trainer, what would your Pokemon type be? I think I'm leaning more towards like a dragon type just because those are pretty much cool. But also, I kind of like the aspect of like a color scheme rather than a type scheme. Let me know what you guys think. Much love as always. Peace.
What type of gym leader would you be? I actually had thought about this more than you'd think.
I don't think I've ever thought about this.
You'd like all dark and ghost and poison.
I don't know. All right, I'm going to narrow this down to 3.
Okay.
Steel. I think Steel would be cool. No. Yeah. I'm going to narrow it down to 4. Steel, Psychic, Rock, Water. Where do I go from there? All right, I'm removing Steel. I'm going to remove Rock, Psychic, or Water. Okay, so now we have to figure out, would I look better in like a mystic garb? Like sitting in front of a crystal ball? Or in a one-piece Speedo?
No, dude, it's the Zoltan Bob emote. Like, you're right there.
That's what I'm trying to think.
Like that's a no-brainer. Yeah, you got to be the... And the whole gym is themed around those little boxes where you have to answer questions or something like that. Yes. You know how like all the gyms have little puzzles? Yeah. That's exactly what it is. And it's you sitting on like a red silk pillow. in the back with like a crystal ball in front of you. Yeah. That's gotta be it.
You encounter your first Alakazam when you fight me.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You're just bending spoons with your mind. All of your and all the Pokemon that you have no future sight.
Every one of them.
By default. That's the TM that you give when you when they beat you, if they do. Mine would be flying. I have long held myself as a flying type, like a bird keeper. I fucking hate birds in real life. Like I literally would never go near a bird.
That's because they're government agents.
Right. They're first of all, I don't talk to the cops or feds, so I would never touch a bird. But flying type Pokemon were always my favorite. So yeah, I was always like, yeah, I'll be bird trainer Dom, and I have the fucking cage. So what I'm picturing is, I don't know if you've seen Kong Skull Island.
Oh yeah.
You know how like John C. Reilly's character was like a pilot and he crashed, and like his house is like the crashed ship.
Yeah.
So that's my gym, is a giant crashed plane.
No, it's an Aerodactyl skeleton.
See, there we go. We're workshopping it, and you got to like climb to the top of a mountain, and then there's like that's like the bird's roost, right there. And I'll have like a bomber jacket on and a Pidgeot right there. You know, just fucking chilling. Fire and flying and grass are always my favorite. So when they came out with Talonflame in Gen 6 or 7, it was like a fire bird. I was like, fuck yeah, man. That's right up my fucking alley right there. So yeah, bird trainer.
I finally have gold in crystal on my Retroid Pocket again, and I haven't played either one of those in maybe 12 years. Like I played through Leaf Green again. I played through Ruby. I played through all of those other older gen games, but I haven't played Gold or Crystal in fucking a decade.
Yeah, I haven't played Gold in a while either. I need to get back to those. I wish that part of me is like I don't want to spend money on another remake, but
$100
if they remade Gold,
$100, get yourself a little emulation machine.
Maybe I will. All right. Second and last voicemail. Here we go.
Hey boys, Coleman here. Just thought I would leave a voicemail. I have a particular set of useless information this week that I would like to contribute. Nora last week was talking about a microwave that cools things really quickly. They actually have something like that in the culinary industry. It's called a blast chiller or a flash freezer.
Oh yeah.
And it's used to the freezing process can be damaging to the muscle groups of meat and everything like that. It gets more ice crystals that form in the intramuscular.
This is true. This is all true.
Basically, in your muscle. If the ice crystals freeze slowly, they'll get bigger, which will affect moisture content in the meat. And so a flash freezer will freeze things super fast, and they don't have time to form those large ice crystals that would be damaging to the structure of the meat. Yeah, that's what almost 7 years in the restaurant industry being a sous chef will get you chock full of useless information that might help somebody think their silly invention is actually a pretty good idea and is implemented already. So, Nora, you might want to try to get some kickbacks on that. I'm sure they stole it from you. Anyway, guys, hope you have a good week. Hope everyone is enjoying their summer so far. I'm already counting down the days to where I can be burning that pumpkin spice candle. I'm tired of roasting alive outside. Hope you guys have a great week. Play some good games and be good, guys. Love you.
First of all, that's also, there's a company that freezes people's heads.
No.
There's a company for preservation of human bodies where it's after you die, they're going to preserve your skull in case sometime down the future we hit the singularity and humans integrate with technology to the point where you could just upload somebody's consciousness into a machine. So
that's fucking terrifying. Right.
Well, I mean, the theory is the singularity is supposed to happen within the next 5 years. So.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So. The company that does that you have to flash freeze the human flesh, or like Coleman was saying, different because you're not consuming the human flesh, but you're preserving it. You have to flash freeze it I think it's in liquid nitrogen. So the frozen crystals don't build up in the human tissue.
Yeah, it makes total sense to me. I don't see why not.
And this is something Nora brought up last week when she was trying to come up with inventions that we have never heard of before.
Love that. You know what? Get me one. Prime 2 Day.
Let's extend Prime Day so I can get one.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. All right, let's land the fucking train. Big shout out to Oxygen Esports and Boston Breach. Thank you for the hospitality last weekend. Really appreciate that. Big shout out to Murph. Big shout out to everybody who's checked out the interview. Please go check it out if you haven't already. It means a lot. I haven't done a ton of those, so feedback is more than welcome. Would love to hear what you guys think. Good, bad, or indifferent. Any feedback is huge. So would love to hear what you guys think. Also, big shout out to everybody in the community that showed out. As always, JB, Reggie, Jess. We had Q in here for like a second. We had Craig in here for a hot second. So thank you guys. And last but not least, big shout out to the Lee and Keys Real Talk podcast. That is my brother's podcast. It does run in the family, and they do I think they do it on Wednesday nights usually. They actually did it last night, where they mainly talk about combat sports, MMA, boxing, shit like that. It's Lee N, the letter N, Keys, Keys RT on Twitter, and they do it live. You can call in live to the show, and they'll chat with you. It's like a regular radio show, so really cool. So if you're into MMA, check that shit out. And a big Wicked Good Gaming suck it to the Florida Mutineers because they beat Boston Breach narrowly, and also big suck it to New York Subliners. But
Wait,
that's
they do it live. They do it live on Twitter.
So they post it on Twitter, but Blog Talk Radio is the platform. And they have it like you can I called in on my cell phone and it's literally like calling into a radio show where it's a live conversation, and then I just hung up and was listening on my laptop.
We should start doing the podcast as a space on Twitter.
If we could find a way to simulcast that without melting Chris's computer, I'm totally down.
All right, I gotta start doing some fucking research here. I'm gonna figure this out. I'll figure this out. I don't fucking know. I got nothing this week. I'll be the Chris for this week.
Also, shout out to Chris. Hope that he's still alive, and hope that he gets out of New York safely, since apparently it's a fucking hellhole.
It's been a hellhole.
Yeah, no shit. Cool. Well, thank you everybody for joining. If you're one of our beautiful patrons on Patreon, we'll see you in our Discord in just a minute for Not Another Gaming Podcast Last Call. For everybody else, we will see you next week. Make sure that you subscribe. One other big thing I want to mention is next week we have some really, 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 really big news.
Yes. Potentially
game-changing for the podcast. And I really need not that you guys don't ever do this, and I know that the community always shows out whenever we need you most. This is probably the biggest that I can imagine, and I by about a factor of 10. So put your fucking hustle hats on, because we're gonna need all hands on deck big time for next week. Can't really say anything until that time.
All hands on deck, and these two hands aren't going to be there because I'm going to be in South Carolina.
Right. All hands on deck except for Bob, who will be golfing.
Whose hands will be on a driver.
It's the summertime. People are taking time off. Vacations happen. It's important. We were talking about mental health, top of the show. Take your time off. But yeah, we need all hands on deck. Calling the banners for next week. We need you. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, for everybody else, episode 293, subscribe, 5-star on Spotify, 5 stars everywhere else. Tell 2 friends about the show if you like it. Tell 5 friends about it if you hate it. And if you're a bozo, fucking unfollow us on everything. It's Wicked Good Gaming on everything except for Twitter. It's Wicked Good Games. And yeah, we love you so much, and we'll see you next week. Mwah.